Rick, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Keith. How are you?
Good, good. I got a topic for you. I'd love to hear what you think. The title of this podcast is Life is the Retreat. What do you think about that?
Boy, if we could just master that concept, eh? Like we're always on vacation, like whatever you have to experience that, when I say have to, I mean like going to work, paying bills, whatever all of the obligations are, you do that as a way that you would similarly do a vacation. You think of it in a positive, interesting way instead of thinking it as drudgery. And I think that the more that we're able to convince ourselves as part of self-love that whatever we're doing has meaning, and whatever we're doing is fun and can be joyful. I know that's an exaggeration, but the idea is positive feelings instead of negative feelings about the have-tos in life make life a retreat. What do you think?
I agree totally, Rick. I think that, the vacations and everything else, they can either be, a nice respite or they could be, a disaster. Who makes it who really has the effect on which one of those is true for you is you. You determine what it is. I've seen people go on vacations and the flight is canceled. They didn't have a hotel room. They were going to the beach and it got all rained out and they had a blast. I've seen other people, the flight was on time. They got upgraded to first class. They got an oceanfront view and the vacation was awful. So it has nothing to do with the outside. It has everything to do with the inside. So I think it's really up to the person, but all of life can be that way if you work on yourself. I think when I think of the word retreat, in addition to vacations, I think about personal development retreats that people go on, spiritual retreats, religious retreats, all these things to really hopefully be a better person or to connect more with spirituality or religion or whatever the case may be. What I think is that what I found, I have paid for retreats and gone to conferences, and they've been useful. You know what's been more useful and free monetarily is life. Every day, life is going to give you something to work on. I mean, you can go there and have the guru or have the pastor or the reverend or whoever do what they do. You know, the $1,000 an hour guest speaker and all those people, they can go there and they can inspire you. You can do all of that, but life will do it for you too. And what I found is life is really good at retreats. It's really, really good at retreats. And here's the thing. You can keep getting the same retreat over and over if you don't benefit or use the tools that it gives you in the previous year's retreat. And so when I see when I see my friends or people that I know go on these retreats, I often think to myself, like, what's been a more effective retreat for me is life, because it gives me many, many chances to put the reps in a game time situation. When you go on a retreat and it's a silent retreat or it's quiet, yeah, maybe there's some difficult trying to be aware of the thoughts and keep the mind quiet, but everybody around you is the same. They're all on a similar path as you are for that particular retreat, for whatever the objectives are for that retreat. But when you get out in work, when you get out in real life, and the spouse hadn't gone to the retreat, the colleagues haven't been at the seminar, the next door neighbor, it's not hasn't been reading the same books you're reading. What happens then? Where's this peacefulness at then? Where is this choosing, the peaceful path? Taking, practicing noble silence when somebody on the airways is telling you that your beliefs politically or socially or wherever you line up, are not the right ones. Where are you at then? What happens then?
Right.
So, so the retreat, it gives you the tools, but life is going to allow you to put it in practice. And so I'm a big fan of life being a retreat, Rick. And it continues to serve me well, continues to serve me well. And that's really where I've gotten the most growth. I've gotten concepts and tools to practice elsewhere, but life has been the place to where I was like, I got the tool, I got from the retreat. I'm just going to keep applying it in life over and over and over again. And that's what has been the biggest impetus to deepening my consciousness, for helping me really stay committed to this path and helping me grow. And hopefully, I can be a contribution to others. What are your thoughts, Rick?
Oh, Keith, you've hit the nail on the head. You're exactly right. Everything that life gives you is an opportunity to work on the practice and work on yourself. What I continue to remind myself of is that whatever the stimulus is, whatever the obstacle is, whatever it is that shows up, there's a there's a period of time between that stimulus, the realization of the problem, and my reaction. And that gap, I have total control over. So I can fly off the handle and be a jerk. I can take an action that I'm going to regret later. I'll say something off the top of my head that's cruel. I'll send an email that's terrible. And then all of those things I wish I hadn't done. I wish I didn't do them. You can stop that when you are mindful of the fact that the stimulus is always there. Life is throwing stuff at you all the time. You have that gap within which you can make a decision on how you want to react. And one of the things that really helped me was the idea that I don't have to react in this moment. I can just take a minute. I can just take 5 seconds. I can take 10. I cannot respond at all if I don't want to. And so that really helps when you're dealing with a difficult situation in life, to remember that you control how you react to that. And that the retreat, all of the things you learn in the retreat, you can apply, but you're going to lose the benefit of that retreat seminar that you had if you fly off the handle and go back to your old ways and fight about not being fair, and you don't want this, and how come they got something better and I didn't get it's no going nowhere. It's going nowhere.
No,
I love the retreat idea, Keith. That's really cool.
that's awesome, Rick. Hey, I love you, Rick.
I love you. Take care, buddy.
All right, thank you.
See ya.